Hello, Francis here. Today I want to talk to you about what I learned while writing my book. What I learned when I wrote my new book that I can't wait until you all get an opportunity to read it. What I learned while writing this book is sometimes when you have things planned out and you think that the trajectory in which you're going, you are aligning yourself with what you said for your writing journey or your writing space. And I found that in doing that, that's not what the plan was at all. The first direction in which I went, it was not the direction in which I needed to go. So in learning that, it made me more aware, more in tune with myself, and I regulated myself to line up with the self-awareness that I obtained during this writing process. While writing this book, 21 Steps to Walking in Purpose, and I can't wait for you all to be able to read this book. Three things that really stood out to me. The first one was commitment. Committing to my work, committing to the timetable in which I wanted to have my book completed from the time I started to the time that I restarted and to the time that I actually completed it this last time. In doing all of this, it was truly, I had to make a commitment. I had to make a stance to say, okay, I'm giving myself 3 weeks to do this. So when I did that, I was like, oh, I wanted to pull it back right away. Because that's the one thing you want to do when you commit to something. You're like, oh, I need to pull it back because I committed to something. That means I am now obligated to make sure that this thing actually happens. So in committing, I was like, okay, yes, I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to do it. And then I gave myself a committed number of words to write. What was I thinking? A committed number of words? Who does that? But in actuality, it's very common. You give yourself a certain amount of words that you want to write for your book. You give yourself a time constraint that you want to write for your book. And in doing that, you're committing to the work. So I did it. I set the goal and I gave myself that committed time to work. And I did it. I stayed the course and I stayed on task. And that brings me to the second thing that I wanted to talk about. The second thing that I learned while writing this book was discipline. Oh my gosh. When you're writing and you give yourself that committed timetable to work in, you have to be disciplined. You can't sit and binge watch any shows that you're wanting to binge watch because writing and binge watching TV is not going to mix, because what you're watching is going to get into your subconscious of what you're writing, and what you're writing and what you're saying is not going to make sense because you are distracted by what's in front of you or what's louder than your thoughts. And your thoughts get all jumbled and they get confused and conflicted because you have something outside of your disciplined space to work in. So when you are disciplined, you are setting a boundary. You're setting blocked scheduled times to do your work. And that's what I had to learn. And in learning that, it freed me up to say, hey, even if I'm really, really, really super tired, I can do a chapter a night. and stay in that space to do it, not distracted by anything else, but staying disciplined, keeping yourself on task to finish what you start. And in learning that, it made me feel that confidence of exhilaration, saying, yes, I'm getting this done, and I'm getting it done in the time that I want, that committed time. And in your writing, on your writing journey, the same thing. Look at what's around you, what's happening, your family, what you need to take care of for your family, and then set your disciplined time to say, no matter what comes up, even if I don't feel like it, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write this many words. I'm going to complete this chapter. I'm going to stay in this space and do it. That's when the joy comes in. You're like, oh, yes, I did it. At the end of the day, the accomplishment of, wow, I did it. I finished it. I stayed disciplined. I stayed on task, and I did it. The joy comes in that. And the third thing that I learned while writing this book, I learned that I had to be okay with releasing my message. When you release your message, you know that your message is for someone. Even if it was just for you, the message that you have in your heart, that is the message that your reader is wanting to hear. They've been waiting for your book. They've been waiting for your message. They've been waiting for your steps, your tips, your tools, and how they can achieve something in life. And when you use your gifts to live the purpose life that you have, there is a joy that comes out of it, a fulfillment, a deep connection with who you are and who you are becoming. If that's you on this writing journey, know that you are in the right space. And if you feel that is you, then comment in the chat. That's me. I'm ready to level up and get to my writing ability, to get my message out there, to impact the world for change, to impact the world for the good things. There's too many bad things happening already. But the good thing that you can add to the world is your message. What you learned, what you've overcome, what you've accomplished, what you have self-taught yourself. These are the things that people are waiting to hear. And they're waiting to hear it from you. So write your story, get your message out, and know that you can change the world with your message. I hope that encouraged someone. And know, I believe in you on your writing journey, because I know that you are exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can ask or think. Your message will impact the world. Have a good week and enjoy.